Hello, everyone. How are you all today? A very good morning to all of you from Singapore. I hope you guys have been having a great weekend. I'm just going to give it a few more minutes. Hello, everyone. How are you all doing today? How has your weekend been? So, I'm going to give it a few minutes, and then once everyone joins me, I'll start on today's really intense topic. All right. So tell me that you're here. Drop me a hi, a reaction, or something. Sorry, there was a couple of minutes delay. Hey, Henry, good morning to you. So happy to see you. So, how has your weekend been? How are things? You see, there's always this silence of the night, as we call it. It's 6:05 a.m. in Singapore, and so it's really quiet. Hello, Teresa. It's okay. I'm so happy to see you. Hi, Kayla. I'm good. I hope you're well too. Hi, Tamara. Hello. I hope you're well. That's good. That's good. I hope you all are having a good and relaxing weekend because this is the start of April, and April energies are looking so much more better than February and March, because February and March has been intensely intense. In fact, it started in Feb. The energy started to build up for the collective, and then in March it just went to its peak. And April, it's starting to settle a little, so you may feel an energy difference that has been happening. And also, if you notice, April is the month of spring in some countries. So this is the time to cultivate, to allow things to grow. My weekend has been good. It's my father's birthday on the 5th of April, so we all had like a mini birthday gathering yesterday just with the family. So it's been good. Yeah, that's why I had a tequila sunrise cocktail on a cloudy day. Yeah, it was good. The tequila sunrise was pretty good. Yeah. And yeah, see, I'm such a genius for thinking of such a great caption, right? Uh, yes, definitely intense like a roller coaster. And that's why today's topic is so important to the collective, because there is there is actually there is no one way to get through the grief of twin flame separation, or any kind of love separation to begin with, you know. And the pain of twin flame separation is heightened, intensely heightened. So, what exactly happens is, so for those of you who just joined me, we are talking about how to deal with twin flame grief of separation. Like, what do you do? Like, how do you get through that separation phase? There is no easy answer to it. If not, it's not really an intense love connection to begin with. So, twin flame separation. Hi, Bharati. I'm good. Hi. Bharati says hi to everyone. So, Bharati, I just started talking about how to deal with twin flame separation, how to deal with the grief that comes along with it. See, actually, what happens with the separation phase and the grief is, it brings you down to the worst kind of hell, as I would describe it. You're suddenly left naked, but not naked without clothes, but rather naked as to what to do. It is a state whereby the pain and the grief is so intense you can't even function in daily life. And there is no escape to this. A lot of people think there's some kind of a medication or a remedy to run away from twin flame grief. So actually there isn't. But what I can advise you all or give guidance on is how to deal with the pain. Like, you have to accept the pain. It's like, instead of pushing it away or running away from it, or going on the other direction of abuse or alcohol abuse or drug abuse or anything like that, it's just going to make it worse. So the only way around dealing with this kind of grief is to actually go within, go into a mode of complete surrender and separation. So, how do you even do that? Because most people are designed not to experience pain in that level. So, once you start feeling that pain, you're trying to avoid it, or you're trying to um, do everything to allow the pain to go away. So, acceptance is key. And actually accepting the pain, that this is how it is actually one of the tips of feeling relief. Because once you accept that intense, I mean indescribable amount of pain, what happens is you stop fighting the pain. And in twin flame separation and grief, you have to stop fighting the pain. And we are designed to fight for everything. As humans, we are designed to not give up and fight. But this is not about giving up, this is surrendering to the journey. And that's so the cure is in the pain. And so the cure is actually in the pain. So when you actually start observing the pain from the state of watchfulness, you will realize that a lot of the pain comes from ego, comes from control, comes from your ability to not accept the situation at hand. You have to understand, even though a twin soul is one soul, but you're split into two bodies. So, in this existence, in this experience, you are two separate individuals, and no one can force another one to do what they want. And this is what the journey eventually teaches you. It is one soul split into two, but this is what you're actually doing to yourself. You are causing yourself that grief and pain due to third dimensional energies. So for a lot, they enter the soul shock phase quite immediately. So when the moment of rejection takes place, usually separation is triggered by rejection or ghosting or some kind of an intense episode leads to separation. And separation can take a couple of months, a couple of years, and can be on and off. Yes, Hope, that's really good that you stopped fighting, because that is one of the tips to actually heal the pain. Because if you keep fighting it, it's just going to intensely grow. So back to where I was. So it's usually triggered, but a lot of people misunderstand this. So during separation, when there is like communication, or they tend to build their hopes really high, and that causes another stage of grief and another stage of separation, and it actually triggers multiple stages of grief and separation. And the reason why I use grief is because it feels like death. Twin flame separation actually feels like death, because it is like your own soul rejecting you, and it's like you hating yourself. And that's the worst thing you can do, right? The whole world can love you, but if you hate yourself, you're never going to be at peace. So that is the reason why twin flame separation can be defined as a grieving process. So usually, there are several stages of dealing with grief, even though it's not similar to the situation at hand. But essentially, that's what anyone is doing. They're actually grieving the loss of the presence of the divine masculine or divine feminine, in most cases, divine masculine. And that's why separation hurts so much. So instead of avoiding the pain and not facing the pain, try to transmute the pain. And that's the reason why the best the best writers and the best poets, they experience that kind of love in order to be able to write. So writing is a way of release, journaling how you're feeling. Meditation is usually really hard in the early stages of separation. Hi Rose, so good to see you. So meditation can be really hard. So I would say, don't go into meditation because it can be quite scary, because meditation is supposed to give you relief and relaxation. But usually, on the onset of separation, meditation can be another kind of hell, because you are you're faced with trying to deal with all of your pain and emotions in yeah you're trying to deal with everything. So when you start meditating, everything is going to come to you: old memories, constant replay of the rejection, or actually, what causes the true pain? The fear that you will never be together again, the fear that, oh no, have I done something wrong? So there's a lot of regret and denial as well. So another reason why the pain intensifies is because there will be these moments of, is there something I could have done? Should I have stooped lower? Is there something that I could have done to prevent this? So, like what Annalisa says, it's definitely a process and there's no easy fix. And you have to remove the notion that it's just one separation and then it leads to union. There's going to be multiple separations. So for instance, you deal with your issues, your DM comes back and there's a lot of love, but that doesn't mean it's going to straight go into union. There's going to be multiple small separations sometimes. So so for some twins that I've worked with, that happens. They do really well, and then they get together to only break up again. And every time the separation just becomes worse, the agony just becomes worse. Henry, I've used the sad days to really get into the feelings of sad ballads for singing. I try to use it for the positive now. I've worked myself through it. I'm able to use the pain for something beautiful. I wouldn't have been where I am right now without it. Yes, that is amazing, Henry. Guys, you should read Henry's comment, which I just read out. So try to turn the pain into something beautiful, because art, expression, journaling, acting it out, singing, dancing, these are all forms of expression that helps you release the pain in a positive way, instead of trying to get back on your DM by dating someone else, or trying to get involved in more toxicity. It's only going to lengthen the gap between you and your person. So that's why do something creative. Creativity is one of the tips to actually help heal and deal with the pain and grief of separation. Secondly, you have to also have this healthy, positive mindset. Should not be like, oh, I'm never going to see my DM again, or obsessed with the fact that, oh, my DM is going to come. You have to really release the outcome of the future, because that is also hindering your path, and that is also causing you more pain, because what happens is, with expectation comes greater pain. So that is the reason why you have to really let go of expectations in your twin flame journey to actually deal and heal with the pain. And it is part of the process to actually heal is to let go of expectations and to actually surrender to God, the universe, to trying to focus on the divinity of what you're experiencing. Hey Shay, hey beautiful, I hope you're well. Annalisa has something to share. I try to focus on other things in my life as well. Write poems. Never thought I would ever write poems, but it came out of nowhere and now I love it. You see, inspiration strikes. It's not true that only if you are extremely happy that you will have the inspiration. Sometimes sadness and grief is a big driving factor to actually express a lot of your hidden potential and creativity. And that's why this is your time to actually grow. And it goes back to the butterfly analogy. You cannot force a butterfly to become a butterfly without it going through the numerous processes of the pupa and the larva stage and all that. Same thing with the twin flame journey. If you force yourself, it's only going to backfire. You have to truly experience the pain. That's why sometimes, and it's not about choosing a soulmate or choosing a karmic as well. Some people have that notion that it doesn't it anything with regards to the twin flame journey does not happen with choice, 3D kind of choice. It's so, if not, it's not intense connection. Like, think about it. You've met this love of your life. You're just not going to give up and be with someone else you meet. If that is the case, then you may have never experienced what a twin flame love is. But having said that, it is also essential to move on when you think that you have to move on. Like, especially, you may have other goals with regards to setting a family, but rather than thinking too much about it, surrendering to God and actually allowing the divine to guide you through this journey will ease the pain a little. Because who else can you ask except for your creator for the pain that you are going through, right? So, creativity is number one, expressing your creativity. Number two is letting go of expectations. Number three is actually surrendering to God and the divine and allowing life to work through you. And once you actually do these three things, you are already a quarter away towards managing the pain that comes with separation. Yes, it's hard to let go of expectations, and that's why it's one of the biggest obstacles, Annalisa. It's like you need to have a healthy balance between reality and expectations, because if you start having expectations, it's just going to cause more pain, because with expectations come timelines, and with timelines comes more expectations, and then you start thinking why it's not happening, what am I supposed to do, and then everything becomes a kind of an ambitious pursuit rather than going through with the journey. And that's the reason why letting go of expectations is going to be really hard, especially during separation phase, because you want to hold on to something, you want to hold on to hope. So being hopeful is good, but do not have expectations, because expectations also create negative behavioral patterns, like stalking of your twin, trying to find out who they are dating, who they are dancing with, or they are going out with. Like, expectations actually starts to create more toxic patternings, because you're trying to get things together and you're trying to control the situation, which you can't, because in any connection, one only holds 50% of the ability to control the connection, right? The other 50% comes from your person. So you cannot try to gain control of everything. So that's the reason why it's so important to just, and also remember, it's a very personal journey. This grief is very private. It's not designed for you to go and spend time with your twin and experience grief. It's actually an opportunity for you to grow from within, to actually evolve, because only twin flame pain triggers that kind of spirituality within you because you have nowhere else to go. It's so painful, you just don't know what else to do, that you reconnect with your creator because you just want to make meaning out of this. So most of the time it's not even the twin flame connection or the pain or fear of not being able to see your person or be with your person, but it's just the fear of losing your person. It's just this fear that a part of you has been crushed. That's why it is about the fourth tip is about actually using this time to work on yourself, like work on every aspect of yourself, or work on issues that you have been pushing away. There's going to be unhealed childhood trauma, there's going to be um, grievances that you haven't resolved with people. It could be your immediate environment, it could be family conflict. So this period of separation actually helps you to work through these issues and elevate your consciousness. So that's why it's so important, guys. Like, really, it is very, very, very important to take this time to deal with existing issues without trying to connect the twin flame journey into this. Like, that means put your person aside for a moment. You're already in separation, there's no point dwelling in it. It's just going to cause you more pain, but instead shift your focus to issues that need dealing, because without dealing with these issues you're going to be vibrating at a certain frequency that's going to just lengthen the period of separation for long. There's another group of people who just likes to blame it on their divine masculine or their person, saying that, oh, they are not growing, they are not. It's the journey is not about them, it's about you and how much you are progressing. Only if you So we have multi-dimensional selves, right? And some people are in union with their twin flame in like 5D or 7D or 8D. So, in order to be in union with your twin flame in all dimensions, you have to really vibrate at a certain frequency without anything holding you back. And the pain it's indescribable. It's like a million knives piercing through your heart, but you have to realize, like, how much pain can you withstand? There's going to be a point where you're like numb. You're feeling numb. You're like, I've had enough of this pain, I've had enough of this uh, ang- anguish that I'm going through. I have so much. So the various stages of grieving would be crying, would be releasing, would be doing intense exercise or running or praying. All these are actually healthy ways, and being creative. Writing poetry, like, you are going to get all sorts of inspiration to write. So just keep doing something creative. And then after that, you will realize that you're able to manage the pain. You're not going to heal the pain completely, but rather you're going to manage the pain. And then slowly you will get into this understanding that this pain is actually not pain, but it is actually something that is triggering something within you. So this pain is like the door to triggering your higher consciousness. Because so much pain, you have nowhere to search in this 3D world. Like, no form of consolation, nothing. No amount of love movies you watch, or no amount of YouTube videos you watch on grief is ever going to help you, except facing the pain and actually seeing the pain with open eyes and trying to understand that it's not your fault that you're in this state, but rather take this as an opportunity to evolve. I'm just reading the comments, guys. I listen to the radio and hear words he wants to say to me. Yes, another way is music. Actually, listening to a song over and over again, you would realize that, that's probably what your person would tell you. So that is pretty therapeutic as well, listening to music. And Henry, the scars of the pain that we felt might not be something we choose to get, but we have the choice whether we want to make those scars look ugly, or our painting, or if we want to create a beautiful painting using those scars to create a unique piece of art. That's how I saw it. Yes, exactly. That is the kind of perspective that will help you ease the pain a little. Because this pain is like, I don't know, I don't even have a word for the pain of twin flame separation. It's just like a complete um, disconstructing yourself and reconstructing yourself back again. So, guys, I will keep going. You guys can keep throwing your experiences, your opinions, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask as well. I'll be going on for another 20 minutes or so. Um, Another thing is, never compare your pain with another person in the twin flame journey, because you cannot compare this pain, because each one of us handle it differently. We are designed that way, and how we handle it differently is due to external stimuli of uh, the circumstances that we grew up with, and all this factor into how we actually deal with pain and handle a situation as intense as this. Yes, the pain feels like death, and that's why I say it's a grieving process. You literally feel like your twin flame has died, and there's no way of being with them again. So that's why it's something that can never be described in words. Or that's why poetry is a good way to express it. And let go of expectations, but do not let go of hope. Believe in this journey. Just get rid of expectations or timelines or unions. just just another way to get through this pain is, after going through all the tips that I went through earlier, the next one is actually to start visualizing your person and trying to change the narrative of the reality. So if your person had rejected you, keep thinking that they actually love you. Like start visualizing that, to actually shift the negativity that's attached to the separation, or the rejection. Oh, Annalisa, that is so wonderful. I'm much more empathetic now that I've ever been. I feel so much love for the universe. Yes, because it actually pushes you to realize yourself. So it's actually a blessing in disguise, even though it's a pain that no one would want to wish on another. But it's also integral. It's an integral part of growing. And then slowly, you would start exploring the mysteries of life, and that's why yoga, and at this stage, yoga and meditation becomes helpful. So after you process the grief and you find this coping mechanism to handle it, then you could start meditating. But I cannot emphasize that prayer is very, very important, and surrendering to the universe and actually asking the universe for help, or God for help, is very, very important. Like, that's complete surrender. Like, you cry out to God, you really call out to the universe to seek relief, and then you will start getting that inspiration. Some twin flames go on writing books. Now you know why. Those amazing love stories out there, you think it was born out of joy, it was born out of sheer inspiration, it was born out of pain. Most writers are inspired by great pain, not inspired, but they are forced into seeking some kind of a relief, and that's how great literature is born, and that's how great art is born, because you go into a moment of intense grief that your whole entirety becomes numb, and in that state of numbness, you have to express it, you have to release it, and that's how. Another thing is balancing your chakras. Eating healthy. Usually during twin flame separation, you won't have the appetite to eat. You would go days without eating, and because you're just trying to numb the pain. So eating healthy helps. eating, choosing, starting to take care of yourself, getting a haircut, pampering yourself, looking at the mirror and telling yourself positive affirmations like you look beautiful, you look great, you deserve happiness, things like this, instead of looking at yourself and hating yourself just because your twin flame rejected you. And and the thing is, it can be really nasty. That's what the divine masculine usually does. He goes into a state whereby he just tells you off, like, I'm not interested in you, or I do not love you, or I like. Oh, and there's another thing that the divine masculines love to do. They like to lie about having another partner, or they are dating someone just to trigger you up further. So don't fall for the bullshit. Usually it's just a tactic for you to let go of them. So the reason why separation happens in the first place is because of this energy of obsessiveness and trying to be with them all the time is what triggers it. So if there's a healthy balance, but you see, it's hard to create the healthy balance because the twin flame journey in itself, it's so hard to navigate that. You go through all these phases for a reason. Yes, Angela, it's best to let go and life changes completely. Letting go. So, letting go of expectations and everything. Letting go. In fact, the magic words are letting go. And people often mistake it as, oh, I'm giving up on the journey. Letting go doesn't mean giving up on your journey. Letting go is actually getting rid of 3D emotions and feelings towards the situation that has taken place. Yes, yes, Annalisa, like I cannot disagree with you on that. Some days are still so painful, thought of though out of nowhere. So yes, it goes in waves. So it's not a uphill thing. It Some days you feel better, but some days you go back to the original pain, and so it's treating yourself good and handling one day at a time. So, taking one day at a time. And then when the pain comes again, you redo all these steps again. But don't do anything like a guide or a step. Then that becomes a ritual and that becomes something that stagnates you. You have to do anything that. So, sometimes looking at nature or hearing the sounds of waves or taking a walk, even a 20-minute walk can ease the pain a little. But the thing is, this grief, this pain is unavoidable. So if you have this false belief that you can get away with the pain, then that is untrue. And separation is going to help happen in multiple phases. So you may think that, oh, I've worked on myself and I've dealt with it, and yes, I'm in union. Even union is not guaranteed. So there are some twins who get together and then they go into separation again, and then they get together and they go into separation again. So so that's why letting go of expectations is one of the best things you can do to yourself, and going with the flow of the journey is another great thing that you can do to yourself. That's why engaging in mindfulness is also very, very important. And this pain is something that would affect your daily life. So if you're working, it might affect your work, it might affect your family. So you have to also be very responsible and be conscious of that, because you don't want it to take over your entire life and make your life worse. So bear in mind that. And sometimes people ask, is it okay to date? So if you're dating someone out of ego, then it's going to backfire. But if you truly feel you want a family and realize that the twin flame journey is unstable and you're not able to fulfill your desires of having children or a family, then it might be time to reconsider, and try to see what fits best. But if you do anything from the state of ego or getting back at your twin, then it's going to backfire. So if it's just a conscious, responsible, solo decision that you made for the best of yourself, then so it all goes down to vibrations and frequencies. So every action of yours goes back down to the energy stream of your thoughts, actions, and feelings. So that's how you know that you're actually evolving, or you're getting near union, or things are going to shift. It's all in the energies, and energies don't lie, and energies don't choose good people or bad people. Energies are just energies. So if you do the work, you reap the results. So if you work on yourself, if you really elevate your consciousness, things will change. But it shouldn't be something like you force yourself on a journey. Rather, you have to enjoy the moment. Not even enjoy, like appreciate and accept this is how it is. So it's like you are already in this journey. There's nothing much you can do about it, but how you respond to it, it's in your hands. Like how you handle it and respond to it, and how you view it. Instead of viewing it as pain and grief and your heart being stabbed and broken, you can start to draw inspiration, like what Henry had mentioned, by singing or writing, like what Annalisa said, writing poems. You could start doing these things, and this is going to shift the energy frequencies surrounding your pain. I know that each one of us would have our own unique experiences, and um, the pain is, it's indescribable. I think only in the twin flame journey, only in twin flame separation, you can go without eating food for days and not feel hunger at all, because the grief is more painful than hunger. When you get hungry after not eating for a few days, that's a pain that is indescribable. But you just want to find relief from this pain, and you're trying to trigger this state. Some ask, is it good to communicate with my twin? Try to force myself away. You know what? It's all going to backfire. Let go of expectations. Pray to God, and if your energy is high enough, your TM will try to check on you or call you, or there will be some kind of communication often. But this only comes in a state of surrender and complete letting go. Only then the universe can orchestrate some form of a miracle, like meeting your twin randomly at a mall, or something, or them viewing your story on social media or something like that. But that only comes from letting go of anything or everything with regards to the journey. Okay, Ainola has raised a very interesting point. Does the fact that I've not yet left my karmic block the growth and healing I need so much? Is it blocking my connection with my twin flame? So, actually, you have to focus on within. It's not your karmic or your twin flame, it's rather you. So, being it, irregardless of being in a connection with your karmic or not, you can still work on self growth and elevation. So, that is not the stumbling block. The stumbling block is rather in you. The solution is actually in you. And usually, in connections such as this, it's not easy to just leave your karmic connection and just walk away, because there are children involved. There's a lot of there's a lot of mutual interest at play. But always remember, because the twin flame journey is divine and it is sacred, you wouldn't be in a position where you will cause some kind of disarray in your family before being in union with your twin. Everything happens in divine timing. The flow usually happens perfectly. That's why, in the meanwhile, you should just continue with the growth and healing, regardless of the circumstances you are on. I think that's the best tip I can give you. Don't see it that way, that my karmic is blocking my connection with your twin. It is actually not. It is actually you within, and your perspective of how things are. So you can continue with elevating your consciousness, and then the solution will be there right in front of you as to what you can do to make things better. Henry, oh yes, I lost a couple of kilos after the first couple of days. Yes, of course, it does all sorts of things. Separation is just, uh, it makes you do things that you would never think you would do. It would, it will make you see the ugliest side of you. Like, what is the worst thing you can do to yourself? That's why, but because it's a spiritual journey, you're not going to the extreme of self harm and all that. But if that is the case, then please do seek help immediately because you don't want to harm yourself physically. Anything that you do has to lead to spirituality in this journey. So that is the only solution to easing the pain of separation. That's why it's grief. It's like it's essentially it's like losing someone you love and not knowing what's happening to them. That's how twin flame separation is like, because you have no clue. Because when your DM cuts you off, it is like complete cut off, and that's why sometimes blocking happens and things like that happen as well. So you have no way of knowing what's going on in their life. And let go of timelines, like really let go of the obsession of when will I see him again. Because the more you think of it, the more you're never going to see him again or her again, because you're just putting out that energy. And if you start looking at yourself in the mirror and hating yourself, then you're mirroring back. So that's how your twin flame is going to look at you. So if you think you're ugly, your twin flame is going to think the same. So if you start viewing yourself as a kind, loving, compassionate, talented, gorgeous looking being, and this will reshift your twin's focus into seeing you in that way as well. Congratulations, Linda. I'm so proud of you. So I'm going to read out Linda's comment. I recently became the director of my school's dance team. Dance was my passion as a little girl, and I'm excited for this new journey. And I've been so busy. You see, Linda, thanks for sharing your life experience. That's a big example of how you have transmuted the pain into something so beautiful, and that is amazing. And each one of us have our own way of expressing this pain into something beautiful, like what Henry had mentioned previously as well. So that's wonderful, Linda. It's truly, and in dance, you really unite with the universe in many ways. It's so sacred and it's so beautiful, and it's such an elevating dance. Is like it's an expression of like the finest moments of life itself. Angela, being able to trust yourself and meditation. Yeah, you have to trust yourself and get into that state of conscious living. But each one of us handle it differently, and that's why you cannot be following a methodology or a you're welcome, Linda. You cannot be following a rule book or a methodology or anything like that. You just have to deal with the pain. Don't hide or run away from the pain. Like face it head on. Like think about it, like ask yourself, how much more pain can I handle? How worse is it going to have? Like I want to go to that deepest pain. Like see how much you can handle, how much of this pain you can actually handle. And then you will come to a point where you become numb, and everything just becomes quiet, and in that silence you will get some kind of relief, and that's when inspiration actually hits. It's when you take a pen and you just start writing like novels and letters and start drawing or dancing or singing or something, pottery, something that actually makes you turn the pain into some form of beauty, some form of gain. All right, guys, do you guys have any more questions? I'm just going to go on for another 5 minutes and then we can call it a day. Because this is such an intense topic, and this topic in itself is going to create intense catharsis as we speak. So, finding your inspiration is actually a way to ease the pain, and trying to find joy in little moments, and also look at your circumstances. Look at there, you will always have people who love you around you. So twin flame love is not the only love that can give you love. There's there's so many other connections that are powerful and inspiring as well. So do not take that lightly. If you have great friends, appreciate them. Great family, appreciate them. Spend more time with them. Appreciate, rejoice your loved ones, because these moments come by rare. And then you don't want to be in a place where you think, oh, I wasted all my time thinking about my twin flame, and instead of spending time with people who truly care about me. So focus on that, guys. Like, really, there's so much more you can do, and the twin flame journey should not be the center of your life, even though it does have the magnitude of taking over every aspect of your life. Yes, I think this is a good moment to wrap up. If you guys want a private healing or a reading or a consultation, you can always book me. You can check out my website or my album. And if you have really enjoyed today, please feel free to leave a review in my album, or just a reaction like a heart or a like. And then do write. Do tell me what topics you would like me to discuss about next week. In fact, we can take the next few moments. If you guys have any ideas, drop it down in the comments. And I really hope you have enjoyed today's session. I'm thinking maybe next week we could do something DM related, like what happens to them when they have actually triggered on this separation. Maybe we could discuss that aspect. Then I can channel what they go through, or any other topics of interest that you may find that might help you in your journey. I would love to do it. Thanks, Henry. Thank you so much for joining us today. And Annalisa, thank you so much. In fact, thanks to all of you. And Henry and Annalisa, thank you for sharing your experiences. And in fact, all of you, thank you for your input and sharing as well. Because in order to get through this journey, we need each other to support. So thank you, Tamara. Thank you, Baridi. Thank you all for being here. If looking forward to the healing that you're going to do. Vaish is definitely an amazing healer. Definitely recommend it. Thank you so much, Henry. Thank you. Thank you. That's so sweet of you. And that's really making me so happy. Thank you so much. Thank you all. Love you all so much. And we'll see you all next week. And if you all have any questions, just feel free to message me. And take care, all of y'all. And love you loads. And have an amazing weekend.